I don't know if people still use this word anymore, but the word hipster is such a fascinating vernacular. I've never actually heard it being used in context in real life, but somehow I was able to come up with a definition. And a few definitions actually, based on my observations and experiences. And I thought it might be fun to share my own thoughts on what a hipster is, while also opening up the space for everyone else to write their own take on what the hipster might be. First of all, I view hipsterism as a chronic illness that has no cure. Some people are born with it, while others are infected throughout their lives in modern society. But the commonality they share is that there is no remedy for being a hipster. Once you are one, there's no going back. It's a one-way street down the road. But not all hipsters are all the same, right? That's because being a hipster requires several stages, right? There are stages of being a hipster. And I want to give credit to a Korean rapper named Semya Kim for the following idea. The first stage of being a hipster is hating anything mainstream, right? You hate pop culture, you hate Hollywood, you hate the top 10 list on Spotify, etc. What you do like instead is indie bands, subculture, unrecognized artists. That's the first stage. The second stage of being a hipster is you hate the people who hate mainstream culture. So you are a stage 2 hipster if you start hating stage 1 hipsters. You follow? If you follow, then stage 3 is quite self-evident, right? Stage 3 hipster is when you hate the people who hate the people that hate mainstream culture. And stage 4 is you hate the people that hate the people that hate the people who hate mainstream culture. So this goes on and on until you eventually reach a point where there's nobody left to hate except yourself, right? And if you hate everyone in this world, and yourself included, there are 2 directions that you can take. The first direction is you start blaming the system and you start pointing your fingers at the capitalistic world, right? You start wondering, where did this all start? Why do we have this idea of consuming all these things? So you start pointing fingers at consumerism culture, and this brings you back to stage 1. The second direction is you start looking for an excluded place where you can hide and where you can hole up. It's like the Walden Pond, and you start living a simple life. You start living away from materialistic world or the urban comfort, right? You start staying away from the urban comfort. So what you do is you start farming, you start writing, you become a hippie, right? You become Henry David Thoreau until you decide to go back to the city, which brings you back to stage 1 again. So I guess this means that we're stuck in a cycle, guys. And don't think that you're out of this cycle, man, because you're as much of a hipster as anyone else in this world. Unless you are a sheep, of course, then you're not a hipster. But that was my take. All right, see you next time.